Hey everybody, Zero here. I just wanted to make a video review real quick of Donkey Kong Country Returns for the 3DS because I'm waiting for Animal Crossing New Leaf to come out in about 2 weeks, and this game just came out on Friday. I know it's kind of a weird release date for a game. Usually games come out on Sundays or Tuesdays, but I figured it would be something to hold me over until Animal Crossing came out. So I picked it up to play, and after playing it for a while, I wanted to give my impressions on it, so that if there's anybody out there who hasn't played the game at all, like didn't play the Wii version, or has played the Wii version but doesn't know if they should still get the 3DS version anyway, I'm just here to put in like my 2 cents. So basically, it's a port of the Wii version. So it's going to be pretty much the same game for the most part. They did add a new world at the end that's got, I think it's like 8 extra levels. And then obviously the game is in 3D now. Other than that, there's basically just a new mode that they added that makes it a little bit easier for handheld gameplay, because it is kind of hard to play. And sometimes you die, and it seems kind of unfair, and the game was pretty hard on the Wii to begin with. So they did add a new mode that's a little bit easier. You get an extra health heart and some new items that kind of prevent you from dying. So other than that, it's pretty much the same game. The graphics are not as good as the Wii version. You'd think that since it was shrunk down onto a small screen, that the resolution would look better, but the graphics just aren't as good. They're a little bit more jagged, but they're not bad. They're almost as good as the Wii version, just not as smooth. Unfortunately, it only runs at 30 frames per second, not 60, but it's not that big of a deal. It's not that noticeable. So overall, I liked the game. I had never finished the Wii version before because the like waggle controls, like the having to shake the Wii remote to pound the ground and all that kind of stuff, I didn't like it. So I kind of just stopped playing. But with the 3DS version, it's a lot nicer because it's just in the palm of your hand and it's like traditional controls. The only things that I did not like about the game, there's 2 things. The first thing is that the levels are very detailed and the backgrounds are like really gorgeous, and so a lot of times there's a lot of stuff going on at one time, and it'll zoom out really far and your character looks like really tiny, and it's like almost hard to even see where you are and what you're doing. It's not like if you've played any platformers recently, like New Super Mario Bros. 2, or even Mario 3D Land. It's not like where it's zoomed in and you can see your character and that kind of thing. It's usually pretty often zooms out pretty far. I don't remember if it did that on the Wii version or not. If it did, you probably didn't notice as much because you were playing it on a bigger TV. But it is kind of annoying. And I'm playing on a 3DS XL. If I was playing on a regular original 3DS, like your character would be the size of a dot. It would be like impossible. So if you have a regular original 3DS, I would definitely recommend downloading like a video from the eShop first and watching it and seeing how small everything is before you pick up the game. The other thing I don't like is that although the controls are not like on a Wii remote anymore, in order to roll, which is like an important move in the game, you have to press the analog stick in the direction you want to roll, and then press one of the roll buttons. There's 4 buttons, 2 of them are mapped to roll, and 2 of them are mapped to jump. But the roll button, when you're not moving, is also the pound button, where you like slam your hands on the ground, which is also a very important move in the game. From playing, in my experience, it's very touchy. If you are running and then you kind of like stop and then you try to pound the ground with your hands, if you're even moving the slightest bit still from when you were running earlier and you tap that pound button, instead of hitting the ground, you'll roll. So a lot of times I would be, at the edge of a cliff, and I'd want to, pound something like a switch or something, and because I had been moving a little bit before that, the button, instead of pounding, it would roll, and I'd go flying off the edge. So there's a lot of, it seems almost like if you're on ice or something. It's like a slippery. You're constantly rolling around when you don't want to. You have to make sure you're like at a dead stop, stand still before you press the pound button. Otherwise, you're going to roll. So the controls are kind of frustrating sometimes. You'd think it would be something you would get used to and then just be like, oh, well, now that I know how it works, I'm not going to do it anymore. But no, I, played it for, hours and days, and you just can't get used to it because it's just a bad button setup. But other than that, the game's not really that long. I think there's like 6 worlds, 6 of the original worlds, I think, and then 1 new one. And you can get through each world in not that long. There's only like 5 levels in each world. Definitely way shorter than the Donkey Kong Country games for the Super Nintendo. You can actually beat a level in a few minutes, and then, a couple levels. So let's say it takes you like 5 minutes to beat a level, and there's like 5 levels per world. That's like 25 minutes per world times 6 worlds. You're looking at just a handful of hours. There is some replay value with trying to get all of the puzzle pieces and the Kong letters in each level, but some of them are frustratingly hard to get. Not so much because you can't find them, but because you see where they are, but you just can't figure out how to get to them. And I know that's supposed to be like the fun, is like, finding out how to get the pieces, and then when you finally do, you're like, oh yeah, sense of accomplishment. But some of them are just frustrating, and you're just going to want to like look it up. But yeah, other than that, it's the same game that was on the Wii. So if you already beat the Wii version, I would say don't get the 3DS version, because it's $35, and the new levels aren't really worth, the price of the whole game. If you haven't played the Wii version, then I would say if you can't get a hold of it for the Wii, get the 3DS version. It's nice that it's portable, and it's nice that it uses button controls. I wouldn't say it's like the definitive version, like a better version of the game. The Wii version has its pluses, like the graphics are better, and it's going to look, better on a bigger screen. But the 3DS has extra levels, and it's portable. The 3D I don't even really count as a bonus, because for me it's distracting most of the time, so I actually turn it off for the most part. So I wouldn't even count the 3D effect as a bonus. So that's what I thought of Donkey Kong Country Returns for the 3DS. Mostly just something I grabbed to play a little bit until Animal Crossing comes out. And then once that comes out, I'll have some more stuff on that. So until the next video, I will see you guys later.